My question is concerning the divine mercy of God and knowing the tragedies that happened during World War II with the Holocaust and everything. And the people that really prayed for help seemed to be lost at times. When Pope Benedict went to Poland and visited the camps, he came out and made a brief statement, and I listened to this on EWTN, and he said it seemed like God was not present during the Holocaust. Mm-hmm. And I distinctly remember that and want to know, how do we reconcile God's love and what the Pope said?
Very interesting question, but also it's important to note that the Pope said it seemed. But Sister John?
I leave that question to you, Father. I'm not too familiar with that.
Here's one of the things, David, that on one hand, it seemed that the absence of God dominated the situation. And in fact, much of the Jewish community lost faith in God, saying, where was he? You know, where was God in all this? And in fact, I think there was a slowness to act by some of the Western leaders who knew that it was going on. They didn't bomb them or anything, tragically. They should have. But at the same time, you know, when you think that the final solution began, what, 1942? Was the big push to exterminate all the Jews and everybody else. And within 3 years, the Allies had removed it. Now, in that 3 years, horrendous damage had been done. But the world was working to eliminate the evil of National Socialism and Japanese imperialism, where also in some places even greater devastation. And even still, something that's very interesting. David, I'd urge you to read two things. Read about St. Maximilian Kolbe, because in Auschwitz, he still experienced not only the presence of God, but the love and mercy that he showed by dying for somebody else. Secondly, I'd ask you to read something by a Jewish person who survived Auschwitz. And it's called Man's Search for Meaning, in which he points out, Viktor Frankl was the doctor, he became a psychiatrist. Viktor Frankl pointed out that it was not the athletic, the strong, the well-built, or any of that who survived. It was the religious people who had meaning, and family people. So that for many people, they did experience God's presence in the situation where vicious evil was trying to eliminate all sense of God. The Nazis hated God. They hated Jesus Christ because he was Jewish. They hated Catholicism. They executed huge numbers of priests. They hated them. And they did what they could to be ugly so that the image and likeness of God that human beings are would be marred in the pictures of everybody there. And yet, people did come to liberate the camps. And people who survived, many of them did find faith. God was not completely absent, as horrific as it was, as unimaginably bad for me to imagine. Having been to some of the camps myself, I'm amazed at the people of faith. We have a quick question from our